Hey, how's it going? Chef B Live here. I'm just chilling in my kitchen and I'm gonna share an awesome recipe with you. I'm gonna actually make a mushroom, a Cremini mushroom to be exact, stuffed with an Arugula Pesto. So let's just get started. I'm gonna go at my quickest pace so we can just bang this out and you can have it in your files really soon. So first of all, I'm going to actually take these Cremini mushrooms. Now there's 4 cups of Cremini mushrooms. What happened is I de-stemmed them and then I soaked them in a half a cup of olive oil, a quarter cup of olive oil, a teaspoon of lemon juice, and a half teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. You could use coconut vinegar in the place of apple cider vinegar if you'd like. So I let those sit for about an hour and then mixed them a few times during that time and just let them sit so they're ready to be stuffed right now. So we're going to move on to the pesto. Now I'm going to use this food processor. You can use any food processor to make this recipe right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add the arugula, massage it a little bit, get a little soft there. Now this is about 2 cups of arugula. I'm going to spread it evenly all throughout my food processor. And then next I'm going to actually put the 1 cup of basil. Now I keep my stems on my basil. A lot of my basil deal, I keep the stems on it when I'm using a blender or food processor because it has a lot of flavor and then I don't waste them because they actually do add the same flavor. Now if you don't want to use the stems, of course you could pick the leaves off, the herbs off the stem. Some stems I don't recommend, like rosemary or thyme, because they're so hard and there's no flavor in there, but with basil and dill and mint, I usually will blend them up, so as you'll see right here. Next I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Now you can keep this in the recipe, you can leave it out. This gives it a little bit more of a cheesy flavor. It's really good without too, but we're just going to leave it at that. Right now I'm going to add a quarter of pine nuts. Woohoo! Next we're going to take, now this is a half of cup of soaked walnuts. Now the walnuts were soaked for about 8 hours. You can soak them at least 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours. Make sure to rinse them really well. Now I am going to add the 1 teaspoon of fresh garlic. Now this garlic, we crushed it. So it really made it very, very condensed. So that was 1 teaspoon of that. Now if you were to just mince it up or chop it really finely, you'd want to put like a teaspoon and probably a half, maybe another half a teaspoon, so a teaspoon and a half. This was more condensed. Next I'm going to put a half teaspoon of garlic powder. Now I like using garlic powder with garlic, fresh garlic, because they really enhance one another. They create more of a, just combination, just more complex flavor, so to speak. You can use one or the other, but I like using both. Sometimes I like to just do a fresh thing, but if I want to really go off flavor-wise, garlic-wise, I'll use them both, as I did in this one. So next I am going to use, now this is 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This is a quarter cup of water. And this is, 3/4 teaspoons of salt. I want to get the measurements right for you, And then this is 2 tablespoons of cold pressed olive oil. you know what? I think we are done there. Now we just need to process this. Now I also want to note that this recipe is, I have not formulated this. This is a process that you're actually capturing right now. This is a really cool inside look into my formulations, my research and development kind of area. So what I did here is I envisioned, and I just mathematically just envisioned what amounts of each of these were. I wrote them down. Now, usually I hit it right on, like most of the time. Sometimes I hit off a little bit and I have to enhance. And so since this is an actual creation, what we're doing right now, these are measurements that I just envisioned and that I saw, okay, because I've used so many of these ingredients, all of them, many times, and I've made different pestos many times, I knew that, okay, this was going to be very close. So I'm going to see by doing this, at this point after tasting this, once I've blended up, I might need to add something. So this is my process. And I have a feeling this is going to be really close, if not a hit right now. We'll see soon, because I'm actually one of my biggest critics. So yeah, we will soon find out. It's good to shake this in a food processor. Or you can even pick it up if you have that string. Depending on the size of your food processor or not. But just simply doing this, shaking it up and down helps, because then you don't have to use a spatula and get in there too many times. So shaking the food processor helps a lot. I already see that this pesto consistency is already happening. So I'm going to scrape the sides a little bit with a spatula, and then now I'm going to food process it a little more. So let me just go ahead and try this. I'm going to scrape the sides. It's quite blended. I think it's fine. Let's see flavor-wise where we are at. Wow. I literally, seriously, honestly, do not need to do one thing to this, and I will want a true testament from my brother, my apprentice, my camera guy. Now, I want you to be a witness. Now, one thing about, here, come over here where I was standing. Now, one thing is that you've become one of my biggest critics as well, which is awesome. Like he and my kids, you know, now it's a very lemony, like zingy pesto. Now with the mushrooms, it's going to be really good because it's going to really like let the mushrooms, which are a milder, like just earthy flavor, it'll really like come out with that earthy flavor, with that zingy like lemony pesto. So tell me what you think, garlic wise, you know.
Right on. Lots of garlic. Lots of fresh garlic.
Yeah, I want it to be a really good, very garlicky.
It definitely hits you with the fresh garlic, like really hard.
Awesome.
So if that's what you're going for, it's totally right on.
Yeah, well, most pestos have that. And that's a huge thing is garlic in pesto. You know? Yeah. Big time. Woohoo!
So yeah, that gets my approval.
Sweet, yeah, right on. TMF, thank you. So now, what we're gonna do, very simply, so we can get this video done. So, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab a plate. I'm gonna take these mushrooms, I'm gonna place them on this plate right here, and I'm gonna put them on their back so they're open and ready to receive this pesto. just gonna take a little bit of, I'm just gonna take one of these small spatulas. You can use a spoon, whatever you like, as far as really getting it into the actual mushroom. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and fill these. It's making me hungry, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? The color is really great too. Now you can throw a little bit of like red bell peppers on the top. I like to put like red bell peppers on the top for color. Maybe a couple pieces of tomato for color. It's always nice to get some red in there. Or a little sun-dried tomato works really good too. Yeah. So I'm almost done here, and you guys are really gonna love this video. Now, the very last thing that I'm gonna do with these is not a requirement, but you can do it. And that's dehydrating it. So I'm gonna dehydrate it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in the dehydrator for about 2 hours so they'll be nice and warm when I serve them to my lovely girlfriend and my brother, my co-author, my partner Douglas, and his wife Cynthia, my co-host for other Going Gone raw recipes and and amazing products near you. But yeah, so I'm gonna actually put these in the dehydrator. In a little bit, I'm gonna put a little bit of sun-dried tomato on them, and then serve them up nice and warm. So, yeehaw! Enjoy this recipe. Remember, you don't have to dehydrate it. It's good, just by itself. Here, just to show you. No, my approval. Love you.